In this video, I'm showing you how I make my delicious homemade chocolate chip cookies. They're puffy and chewy and they are so delicious. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video where I'm going to give you a bunch of different tips about how to make these cookies. And you can also download the recipe card by clicking the link in the description. So let's get started. To make this recipe, you're going to need a half cup of butter. I like salted butter and it needs to be able to hold its shape. So it's still a little cold, but if I push into it, I can make indents with my fingers. You do not want it to be super soft. A half cup of shortening. This is Sweet Tex high ratio shortening, but you can use any kind of vegetable shortening that you prefer. 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. 3/4 cup of packed light brown sugar. You always pack the brown sugar, right? You can use dark brown sugar if you prefer, but I like light brown sugar. 2 whole eggs that are room temperature. These are large eggs, but I don't believe that the size of the eggs really matters. 2¼ cups of all-purpose flour, plus a little bit of extra flour that we can use after the dough is made. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of table salt. And then I have 1½ cups of chocolate chips. These are semi-sweet chocolate chips. You can use anywhere between 3/4 cup to 1½ cups. And you will also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I love this Wilton Clear vanilla. You can use any kind of vanilla that you prefer. So I'm going to start by putting the stick of butter and the half cup of the shortening in my bowl. And I have my beater blade on here. I'm just going to turn it on about a 5 out of 10 and mix that for about a minute until that's incorporated together. And then I want to turn this off. I just don't want the sugar cloud to go everywhere. So I turned my mixer off and I added the granulated sugar, and I'm just going to put that on low and mix that all together. And then once that is incorporated, I'm going to turn it off again and add the brown sugar. Now I just keep turning this off. You can leave it on low if you want to, but I can't cover this with a towel because I'm filming and I didn't want sugar to get all over the place. So now I'm putting it on about a 4 or 5 out of 10, and I'm beating that for about 2 minutes to make it nice and fluffy. Then I'm going to turn my mixer on the lowest speed and add these eggs one at a time. You always want to add your eggs one at a time so they can be evenly distributed throughout the batter. So I just turned it up just a little bit, like a 2 out of 10, until it was completely incorporated. And then I'm just going to slowly add that other egg and mix it until it is totally incorporated into the batter. And now you want to add your 1 teaspoon of vanilla and any other flavorings that you would like to put into this cookie dough. And then I'm going to turn my mixer off, and I don't like to use a scraper blade, so I like to scrape the bowl myself. So I'm taking my spatula and just scraping the sides and the bottom of the bowl. And then I'm just going to turn it on for another like 5 to 10 seconds just to make sure everything is evenly distributed in that cookie dough. Now I am adding the salt and the baking powder to the flour and just stirring that all together. And I'm just going to slowly add this about a half cup at a time. And again, I would usually cover this with a wet towel to prevent this from going all over my kitchen. But I'm just mixing this on low so the flour doesn't go all over the place. And then once it's incorporated, I'm going to get another half cup and add that slowly and just kind of pulse it so I don't get a big flour cloud all over the place. And I kept repeating that process 1/2 cup at a time and just pulsing this or stirring it on low until all of the flour is incorporated. You don't want to turn the mixer on too high. I just keep it on low as I'm mixing this flour into the batter. And now I want to add the chocolate chips. So I'm just sprinkling this 1½ cups of chocolate chips into the bowl while it's mixing on low. And then I just want to take my spatula and scrape the sides and the bottom of the bowl. And after everything's incorporated, I take a little bit of extra all-purpose flour and just sprinkle it on top of the cookie dough and just mix it on low. And I do that like 1 or 2 times. And I just found that when I do this, the cookies bake a little puffier. And I don't know if it works or not, but it works whenever I do it. So I just stick with doing that. So in total, it was about 2 tablespoons extra of flour, and then I transferred this to another bowl, and I'm going to put this in the refrigerator overnight. I should have wrapped it. I forgot to wrap it. Wrap it in aluminum foil, put it in the fridge overnight to chill. And then the next morning, I have my cookie sheets here and I'm lining them with parchment paper. So I like to fold in the edges so it fits nicely inside of the cookie sheet. And then I removed my cookie dough from the refrigerator. It's nice and chilled. And I want to roll these into little 1-inch balls. So I'm taking a spoon. It's pretty hard. And I'm just taking a spoon and I'm just getting a little bit of there and I'm squeezing it into a ball. I'm not really pressing too hard. I'm just making sure that it is in a little ball shape, and it's about, well, it looks like about 1.5 inches, but you can make these however small or big that you want. So again, I'm just grabbing a little bit on the spoon and I'm kind of pinching it to get it into a little ball shape. And when I put them on the cookie sheet, I want to evenly space them out. They will spread a little bit and I don't want them to touch. So you see how I did 3, then 2, then 3, then 2, then 3, just so they're spaced out nice and evenly. And I'm putting the cookie dough and one of those sheets back in the refrigerator while I bake this. Now the fan is on in my oven. I don't have the convection on, but the fan turns on as it's heating, and that's at 375. And I'm just putting one sheet on that shelf and I'm going to bake it for 10 minutes. Sorry, the sun was shining on there, so it's a little hard to see. And then after 10 minutes, I remove it from the oven and I let it cool on that cookie sheet for about 10 minutes before I transfer it to a cooling rack. So there you go. There is my delicious chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I have 10 things that I wanted to go over with you. So we will start with number 1. And I did say this in the video, but that is the softness of the butter is very crucial. You want it to still be a little cold, but soft enough that you can press your finger into it and make a dent. A lot of the recipes call for softened butter, but if you add softened butter, it's going to easily spread, and you don't want these cookies to spread too much. So keep the butter slightly chilled. The second tip is that you can substitute other shortening in place of the high ratio shortening. I use the SweetTex Golden Flex high ratio shortening all the time, so I have it on hand. It can get a little pricey, although you can find it on sites like Etsy in smaller quantities for a cheaper price. And if you don't want to use shortening at all, you can just use 1 full cup of butter rather than a half cup of butter and a half cup of shortening. But again, the result is going to be different. I highly recommend that you try this recipe with the SweetTex shortening or another vegetable shortening. The third thing is that I like to use baking powder in my cookies because they bake puffier than if you use baking soda. I know a lot of recipes for cookies call for baking soda, but I prefer to use baking powder. I just think it gives it a more chewy texture. Tip number 4 is I love Wilton Clear Vanilla, and I put it in everything, and people give me a lot of crap on here because I like to use imitation vanilla in my baking, but that's the beauty of baking. You can use any kind of vanilla that you prefer, and also you can mess around with different flavors. You can make this into a mint chocolate chip flavor, and if you do that, you want to add peppermint extract to it. Do not add regular mint extract. If you add mint extract, it's going to taste like toothpaste. So you want to make sure that you get peppermint extract if you decide to make mint chocolate chip cookies, and I will link that in the description. The 5th thing is the chocolate chips. Now, I use semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I prefer to chop them up in a food processor so I get a variation in the size, and I don't just have big chocolate chips throughout the cake. This gives a more even distribution, and you don't get huge chunks of chocolate. Now, if you prefer that, then you could just skip this step of chopping up the chocolate chips. Now, I prefer semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you can use milk chocolate if you prefer. And in this recipe, I use 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. However, you can use less if you prefer. Tip number 6, which I totally forgot to do in this video, is I would cover the bowl of cookie dough with some aluminum foil when you put it in the refrigerator overnight to chill. Because as I took it out of the refrigerator, it was a little crusty on the top part that was exposed. It wasn't a big deal. I was able to get rid of it when I was rolling the cookies, but you just want to cover it to keep it fresh. Tip number 7 has to do with baking time. Now, I bake at 375 between 8 and 10 minutes. I find that the first few batches need to bake longer, but then as the oven is on longer, I need to bake for a less time. And that sounded weird. So the first batches that I put in baked for 10 minutes, and then as I got to the batches later on in the process, they were baking for 8 to 9 minutes. Which brings me to tip number 8, is that I like to remove my cookies from the oven when they look like they're still a little soft and undone. They're going to continue to bake as you take them out and you let them cool on the cookie sheet. But if you want your cookies to be chewy and not crispy, you want to take them out before you think that they are finished. As long as they are in there between 8 and 10 minutes, they will be fully cooked. So I try to take my cookies out just as I see the edges of the cookies starting to brown. If you wait too long, the bottom of the cookie is going to get really brown and they're going to be really crispy, which is okay if that's what you want. But if you want your cookies to be chewy, just take them out when they still look like they're a little soft. Tip number 9 is the storage. So I like to cool the cookies completely, and then I put them in an airtight container, and they will be good sitting on the countertop between 3 to 5 days. Some people like to stick a piece of white bread in there to keep them moist. I don't really do that personally. They really don't last longer than 5 days, to be honest with you. But you can stick a piece of bread in there to keep them a little more moist. And also you can freeze them for between like 3 and 5 months. Just wrap them up really well. What I would do is put them in a Ziploc bag and put that bag in an airtight container and put it in the freezer. And then to thaw it, just remove it from the freezer, let it sit at room temperature until they're completely thawed, and then take them out of the bag. And here's the container that I have them stored in, and oh my gosh, these smell amazing. And these are for me. That's why I didn't use gloves when I was making them. I don't know if I said that in the video, but I just want to show you the texture of them so you could see how puffy it is. And the bottoms aren't too golden brown. They're slightly golden brown, but here it is as I break it apart, and it is cakey. It is soft and puffy and chewy and so delicious. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love these. And tip number 10, which really isn't a tip, but I created a little recipe card for you to easily reference, and you can click the link in the description to download this. So there you go. If you guys have any questions or comments about this, leave them below. And just a reminder, I have recipe ebooks with all of my cake recipes that I use. I have my signature scratch pound cake recipes, my best Dr. Cake mix recipes, my favorite buttercream icing and filling recipes, along with my favorite numbers, and my favorite fonts. So you can download all of them by clicking the link in the description. And I do have a Cake Academy membership program where I can help you elevate your cakes to the next level. All of that information is below. Please like this video if you liked it, and if you're enjoying my tutorials, I would be so grateful if you could buy me a coffee. My link is down below. And I would love it if you would keep in touch on socials, and you can check out my website. And if you want to see how to make fake fondant chocolate chip cookies that look realistic, you can click this video next and hit subscribe and the bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. And remember, it's cake, have fun. I will see you on the next one. Bye.